There are more AR-15 style rifles in the United States than there are cars in California, around 20 million of them. And yet almost nobody agrees on what it actually is: a hunting tool, a home defense weapon, a military killing machine, or a symbol of something else entirely. The argument over this one rifle has outlasted wars, presidents, and every law written to contain it. So how did we get here? The AR-15 did not start as a civilian product. It started as a problem to solve. After the Korean War, the U.S. Army ran studies and found something uncomfortable. Most infantry soldiers were not firing their weapons in combat. The rifles were heavy, the ammunition was heavy, and the guns jammed. The Army wanted something lighter, faster, and more reliable. In 1956, a small California company called Armalite took on the contract. Eugene Stoner was Armalite's chief engineer. He was not a military man. He was a self-taught designer from Indiana who had never gone to college. What Stoner built was genuinely strange for its time. Aluminum receiver instead of steel, synthetic stock instead of wood, a small, fast 223 caliber round instead of the big slugs standard rifles used. The Army's first response was to reject it entirely. It was too radical, too light. It looked like a toy. Armalite sold the design to Colt in 1959 for $75,000 and a small royalty. Colt's sales team took it to Vietnam, not metaphorically, but literally. They handed the rifle to South Vietnamese soldiers and filmed the results. The small round tumbled on impact. It was devastatingly effective at close range and jungle terrain. General Curtis LeMay fired one at a barbecue and ordered 8,500 on the spot. The military bureaucracy was furious, but the rifle had a foothold. Robert McNamara, Secretary of Defense under Kennedy and Johnson, pushed hard to get the rifle adopted. In 1963, the Army officially accepted the military version, designated the M16 as standard issue. But then something went wrong. The Army modified Stoner's design without telling him. They changed the powder charge and removed the chrome lining from the barrel to save money. In Vietnam, the rifle jammed constantly in combat conditions. Soldiers were found with cleaning rods stuck in their barrels. Congress held hearings. The Army fixed the problems, chrome lining restored, powder charge corrected. The M16 became dependable. Meanwhile, Colt had already started selling a semi-automatic version to civilians in 1964. They called it the AR-15 Sporter. Sales were slow at first. The gun cost roughly $200, which was steep. Most hunters thought it looked strange. Most sport shooters already owned something they liked. For a decade, the AR-15 was a commercial curiosity, not a phenomenon. The real turning point came not from gun culture but from politics. In 1994, Congress passed the Federal Assault Weapons Ban. The law prohibited the manufacture of new semi-automatic rifles with military-style features for civilian sale. It named the AR-15 specifically. Gun rights advocates were furious. The NRA ran campaigns calling it a government overreach. And something counterintuitive happened. Interest in the AR-15 spiked immediately. Sales of existing models surged. The ban made it famous. The ban expired in '24. Congress chose not to renew it. What followed reshaped the American firearms market entirely. Manufacturers who had spent a decade engineering around the restrictions now had no restrictions. Prices dropped. Smaller companies entered the market. The AR-15 became a platform, like a smartphone, where owners could swap barrels, stocks, triggers, grips, and optics. Gun shops that once carried 2 or 3 variants now stocked entire walls of them. By 2008, it was the best-selling rifle category in the country. Owners described the AR-15's appeal in practical terms. It is lightweight, around 6 pounds unloaded. The recoil is mild enough that new shooters can handle it in an afternoon. The ergonomics are adjustable for different body sizes. It is modular. Competitive shooters use it in 3-gun matches. Hog hunters use it for accuracy at long range. Collectors build them as mechanical projects, the way others build cars. For 20 million Americans, the question is simply, why wouldn't you own one? But the rifle carries a second weight entirely. After a series of high-profile mass shootings in the 2010s, Aurora in 2012, Sandy Hook that same year, Las Vegas in 2017, Parkland in 2018, the AR-15 became the central object in a national argument about what America is willing to tolerate. Survivors and family members testified before Congress. Students organized. The phrase, assault weapon, re-entered political language with force. Polls showed majority support for banning the rifle. Legislatures in several states passed restrictions. The legal battles moved to courts. In 2022, the Supreme Court's Bruin decision expanded Second Amendment protections significantly. Lower courts then began striking down state-level assault weapons bans. Illinois passed a ban. A federal judge blocked it, then reinstated it. California's ban was struck down, appealed, upheld, challenged again. The legal map became a patchwork. In some states, the rifle is freely sold. In others, it is banned outright. In several, the question is still being decided, case by case, year by year. What makes the AR-15 debate so resistant to resolution is that both sides are, in their own terms, accurate. Gun rights advocates are correct that the rifle is functionally similar to many semi-automatic weapons not called assault rifles. Critics are correct that it was designed around military specifications and that its magazine capacity and rate of fire exceed what most hunting applications require. Both facts are true. They don't cancel each other out. They describe the same object from different starting assumptions about what guns are for. Eugene Stoner, who spent his later years answering questions about what he had built, said in a 1990 interview that he had designed the rifle for military use. He said he never intended it for the civilian market. He seemed genuinely uncomfortable with the turn the conversation had taken. He passed away in 1997, before the rifle carrying his design became the center of one of the largest political fights in American history. His creation went places he did not plan for. Today, the AR-15 is simultaneously the most purchased rifle in America and the most legislated against. Every major attempt to restrict it has either failed at the federal level or been challenged to a standstill in court. Every mass shooting that involves one reignites a debate that has not moved meaningfully in 30 years. The rifle is both a product and a proxy for arguments about constitutional rights, about government authority, about what kind of country America wants to be. It is unlikely to be resolved by any single election or ruling. A self-taught engineer from Indiana designed a lightweight rifle for a military contract he almost lost. That rifle got rejected, sold, modified, banned, unbanned, and politicized across 7 decades. It now sits at the center of something far larger than its designer ever imagined, a question America has been asking itself for 30 years without a clear answer. Where do constitutional rights end and public safety obligations begin? That question is for you. Tell me where you stand in the comments.